Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of CSGO News. As always, time markers down below for all of you. Kind of an awkward angle. I am back at home. I've been healing up this past weekend. I was sick all this past week, and I'm at home right now. Forgot my tripod setup, so that's why there's an awkward angle between you and me right now. But still, nonetheless, a lot of great stories happening these past 48 hours, and I do want to go over each and every one of those for you. So again, time markers down below. I want to touch on all these team shuffles and trades that have been happening just these past 48 hours, and there's been quite a few of them. I'm also going to talk about some other stories besides that, but the first 5 or 6 minutes of this video will be spent solely on time talking about these teams. So I first want to talk about the French shuffle, which did in fact actually change 3 French teams. First of all, many of you guys know G2 has predicted actually taking over our French super team, which will be Kenny S, Shox, MBK, Body, and Apex. They're actually at IEM Katowice qualifiers with a handful of teams this past weekend trying to qualify for IEM Katowice 2017. They're looking quite strong there, although Fnatic looking the strongest of all these teams by far. I'll talk about that Swedish reshuffle coming sometime soon, but that will be your main French super team of 2017, which we all saw coming. That's going to be G2 retain ownership of those players. Now, the players who weren't actually in the part of this trade, they're actually going to be sticking on Envyus. That'll be Happy and RPK. RPK obviously from G2, Happy that main guy from Envyus. They're coming down and actually making a second team, which will retain on Envyus' side. They're actually going to be joined by Sixer, who I think was a great opper the end of 2016, started out 2017 pretty strong as well. They'll be retaining him. They won't be retaining Scream. They'll actually have XMS join from LDLC, as well as their 5th member will be Devo Duvec. So kind of an unknown name there by a bunch of people who are not a part of the French scene, but still a somewhat strong looking 5-man lineup there for Envyus. So it will be G2 your French super team. Then of course we're going to have Envyus, your secondary, now going to be your lower tier team, I guess, in the French scene itself, but not quite the lowest tier. That was LDLC, and why I feel so bad for LDLC, your 3rd French team here, as always, is because they're kind of your bargaining power. They're kind of your LGB of the French esports right now. They are sending players up to Envyus and up to G2, but not retaining any players. That is existence. He will still be leading LDLC. It feels like he's been there for so long now. You take apart his career, he has been a part of LDLC longer than almost anyone else now. He's actually going to be joined still by Tuanu and Alex, who's been a part of his lineup for quite some time. They lost XMS to Envyus, but they're retaining Mistu, and they have also brought in their 5th member, Maniac. Many of you guys know Maniac's been taking off time between coaching and playing. He'll be their 5th member. So it's really going to be curious to see as we go in to talk about the Swedish shuffle. Many of you guys know JW and Flusha went back to Fnatic. That sends Lekro and Pronax back to Godsent. Fnatic getting the better end of that trade. As of right now, IEM Katowice qualifiers, Fnatic actually 2-0'd the G2 French super team, making them looking stunningly really good so far. And again, now first off, I do want to talk about, for all of you guys who are going to say it's online, it's the first week these guys are actually playing together. They practiced before in these past few weeks, but it's not a LAN event. It's nothing substantial here, guys, but it is a best-of-3 series where Fnatic did 2-0 this French super team. So it's going to be cool to see in 2017 how these teams develop with each other. Now, we saw a lot of analysts, a lot of casters saying it's going to take 3 to 4 solid months of work for G2 and all these other French teams who have just formed to actually see them in their peak form. So obviously, I'll take that to heart. G2, Envyus, LDLC, in that order, are your top 3 French teams. You're really only known French teams as of right now, and they're kind of building off each other. So those are your French teams. That's how the shuffle is working right now. That's going to be cool to see how they do in the future. Now, going back to that Swedish shuffle, the reshuffle, it seems like Godsent really bit the bullet here. Again, we have IEM Katowice qualifiers. Both Fnatic and Godsent are here. We actually had Godsent losing to Tricked Esports, the Danish team, right off the bat in a best-of-3 series. So unfortunately for them, Godsent is, of course, actually many of you guys don't know, Twist is not at the event. So Twist will not be there for personal issues. He's being stood in by a good friend of Fnatic, obviously, or Godsent that is. That'll be Fecky. So they're not doing too terribly there, but of course they're in with a stand-in there, so you can't expect too much out of Godsent. But even with that stand-in, they did lose to Tricked Esports, a lower-tier Danish team who was invested in a little bit ago, actually by a millionaire, but still one of your lower-tier teams who actually builds those higher-tier Dignitas and Astralis Danish teams. So an unfortunate loss there for Godsent, but Fnatic, on the other hand, looking to be like that late 2014, early 2015 thing. As of right now, we've had so many pros tweeting about these guys, and again, it's only a couple best-of-3 series. They did 2-0 the French super team, so they're looking really, really good together. Obviously, that morale is probably on a high right now. They're back together. You know, that late historical squad has been doing so good even before I actually started playing CSGO myself. It's an early peak time for these guys, and hopefully they can carry it out throughout 2017. So that Swedish reshuffle, kind of a weird thing to happen when you really think about how weird it is, how these teams are just traded back and forth, and all of a sudden something's clicking that didn't click before, but it's going to be cool to see how those guys do together. So hopefully I actually showed you guys all those rosters on screen, and now to talk further about this, guys, it's just an interesting topic to talk about. So if you guys have anything to say about the teams, what do you guys think about the French super teams, the Swedish reshuffle? What do you guys also think about Liquid and Optic, the shuffle over there? We actually saw Liquid beat Misfits. That's all I've really seen today in gameplay. From what I can tell with all of you guys, the day you guys are watching this video is Sunday. It's actually early Saturday right now, so I haven't seen too many matches as of right now. I couldn't analyze too much data, but still, by the looks of it, the whole North American shuffle, I don't even want to touch on it as of right now. It's actually just became confirmed by Optic that Hiko will be joining them. Now, not sure on the coaching placement over there, as Cloud9 did actually make their own coaching changes. They added Valens from TSM as their coach. So Hiko will be the IGL for Optic, as we will have Stanislaw going over to Liquid. I think as of right now, we have all these French teams making great trades. Obviously, with all these trades going on in the French scene, my overall opinion is this: the French scene will look better. They will have at least one team benefiting majority of these actual player trades. Same with the Swedish shuffle. We have Fnatic as of right now benefiting majority, and they're actually going to at least rise something. Now, for the North American shuffles, as of right now, we've had North American shuffles which have been breaking even, or it could even be a double negative. With this IGL swap between Liquid and Optic, we don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, we could have an Optic who was obviously a top North American team closing out 2016 and early 2017. They could fall below Cloud9 now. They could, and certainly Liquid stock could actually rise because they actually acquire Stanislaw. So as of right now, the North American shuffles seem to be breaking even. A bunch of teams who are just evenly good right now: Cloud9, Liquid, TSM, maybe throw Liquid in there, maybe throw Misfits in there, even though they're not performing too well together against these top tier North American teams. But the Swedish and the French teams know how to do it. If you want one predominantly good team, they are doing it right. Now, moving on, I do want to talk about, though, Tom Cassell. Syndicate has finally come out again to make a video. Those are my dogs barking. But anyway, Tom Cassell, I think Optic's been doing a great job connecting with their community. I think Hector, the owner of Optic, has been coming out very well, and many of you guys have started to watch Vision about the inside of esports and inside of this organization. I'll hopefully link that down below for all of you guys, as well as this certain podcast they came out with Tom Cassell. That is Syndicate. Many of you know the whole CSGO Lotto scandal not too long ago, back in the summer with Team Martin, where people thought they were rigging bets. Before they actually announced it publicly, they were owners of the website. They had made several videos of them making large amounts of money on the website. Many people thinking they had led thousands of kids to become addictive gamblers. It's a very, very controversial issue to talk about, so I just wanted to play a short clip of that for all of you, where he just opens the air, and it's the first time ever that Tom has actually come out publicly and talked about the incident with all of you. As many of you guys know, Team Martin dug himself a grave about the CSGO Lotto scandal. He made more and more videos. People uncovered it. Like, of course, many of you guys know the people out there who discovered all this information. Great shout outs to all those great people out there. But he dug himself his own grave by making videos and being called out for all these lies. But Tom did something very opposite of that. He didn't necessarily run away, but he avoided the issue. He didn't want to argue. He didn't want to bring it up again, and he went silent. And now he finally comes out about it. So I want you guys to all watch the podcast down below. Tell me what you guys think. I know half of you are probably going to still hate him. Half of you probably still like his personality, and at least he's coming forth about it. I'm going to be playing the fence because I'm not really sure how I feel about the situation. So, yes, Syndicate did come out. He's clearing the air about the whole situation. What's going to happen legally? It seems like they're pretty well protected. He doesn't seem too scared about it. So as of right now, this whole CSGO Lotto scandal, I actually just read an article about this. I don't think it's going to be progressing anywhere. I held my opinion what I held earlier several months ago. I said it's not going to go anywhere. Richard Lewis may think differently. Other people may think in the future, maybe way down the line, they'll get some kind of repercussion. I don't really think so. No slap on the wrist here. It seems like they're pretty well taken care of. So just wanted to touch on that story for all of you.
From what I've seen, like there's no videos or proof that you guys were doing what the other or the other websites were doing, which was like rigging. What was it? Like,
Well, they knew the outcome of the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like to give people a background, if you don't know, CSGO Lotto was a website like where you could have your skins and people could play their skins against other people, and you could win more skins basically. But in the entire drama that went down, and the way it came out was you guys didn't disclose that you own the website. It was public knowledge. If it should have been shared out in more information, then I can completely understand where people are coming from.
And also, in the course of these last 3 days, there's had some big map pool changes. Actually, just one big map pool change. Dust 2 has been removed from competitive play, and it will be replaced by Inferno finally. Now, for all of you, updates for ESL Pro League also starting this week alongside the qualifiers for IEM Katowice. The first week of ESL Pro League Season 5 will be played out with Dust 2 in that pool play, and then actually week 2 and finishing out the season will be Inferno back in. So obviously, many of you know going to affect many teams out there, either some for the better and some for the worse. A short list for all of you. Virtus Pro, one of those teams who probably is going to be hurt by this. And then we have Fnatic, who even tweeted out about this, is obviously going to help them out with having that old lineup back on Fnatic back late 2014, early 2015. Inferno, one of their favorite maps. Now Inferno has undergone changes ever since then, but still going to be cool to see Fnatic with this reshuffle already looking good in IM Katowice, and now with this map play boost, they're going to be looking like one of the better teams so far, and just luck-wise throughout 2017, but also a lot of pro players from SK Gaming tweet out things like this. Pro players in general wanted Cobblestone to be that map which would get changed out. Unfortunately not, but it did get map changes, so some B-site changes on Cobblestone defensively. Some pretty big ones. Actually, Shroud goes over those. If I do remember for all of you, I'll link Shroud's video down below. So Cobblestone, unfortunately, was not the map. It was Dust 2, which is going to go under some major reworks. It's going to be cool to see what Dust 2 looks like. I'm really curious to see if they're going to finally remove the gap in the mid doors, which many of you guys know, just to get to one site, you could die. So going to be cool to see if they rework that. I really hope they don't. An iconic map is now finally going under map work. So hopefully, all of us players learn to play a different map besides Dust 2. I want to quickly touch on as well why many people thought it was actually going to be Nuke. I thought this past major, now I'm sure Valve already had pre-decided before the major what map they're going to choose, and that was going to be Dust 2. But during this major, this past E-League major, we saw that Nuke, one of those maps where originally when it came out, came back from its long stay outside the competitive map pool and was put back in. Many people thought, oh my gosh, can we get this out of here? Can we get Nuke right in and then right back out again and replace it with Inferno? Nuke was not the choice, though. In this past E-League major, we saw that Nuke was one of the most consistently played maps, very closely played as well throughout the major. So a really good competitive map there, and Nuke will stay in. So one bad thing that goes one way for Virtus Pro, they lose Dust 2, but at least Nuke does stay in. So gonna be cool to see how these pro teams actually play this out, and that was some big news for all of you. Now I do apologize for the lack of news and actually big news for this episode. Again, I'm at home, so I've been resting up these last few days, but it's been great to rest. It feels great to be back. So this week, expect some great videos. I have a lot of good stories about some ESEA bans and some great secret stuff for all of you guys, which should be makes for some great news. So as always, live, love, laugh a lot. Remember, I like you. I am now going to go record a video with my mother. Expect this probably sometime soon as well. A secret video with my mom for CSGO. So I'm really excited to release it. Should be really fun to do, and hopefully she gets along with me when we record this video. So as always, live, love, laugh. I'll see you next time. Remember, I like you.